Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I thought this angle was cool, so I'm just gonna go with it. Let me know if it's cool or if it's weird. I thought I was being artsy. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about how to be a real friend because, sometimes I hear especially a lot of people in my age group, like early 20s, mid 20s, they have a lot of problems trying to find new friends, maintain friendships, and I do think that part of it is because your 20s is such a transitory time that that's just a natural consequence of, growing pains sometimes. But there are also things we can do to make sure that we're being, the best quality friend that we can be. And part of that sometimes is allowing people to just be where they're at and sometimes having to let them go, but not always. So here are some things that I believe can help you be a better friend and things especially that I've learned this year that I think would be really helpful to know. So subscribe if you're new here. I make videos every week, period. So, one of the things that I want to say about relationships in general, this can even apply to romantic relationships, but obviously friendships too, because there is a level of intimacy that you create when you are in a friendship, especially over time, that you get closer and you go through more things. It's a natural thing that happens. It's levels of intimacy that can either, deepen as time goes on or deteriorate. And that's why we see sometimes we lose friends in different parts of our life. And I feel like this has been a theme this year with a lot of people that I talk to. So I figured I'd make a video about it because the thing is that I feel like we go through a lot of the same things, but just in different bodies. So sometimes when I see a lot of the same issue come up again and again, I know that I'm not the only person dealing with it and that there are a lot of other people who are also going through similar things. So the thing about relationships and creating real intimacy and having fulfilling and long lasting deep relationships with people, which is truly what we're after a lot of the time, we want a real connection. Part of it is accepting the good with the bad. So I feel like conflict isn't necessarily something that you have to avoid at all costs, but it's actually something that can help a relationship grow if it's approached the right way. I think challenges and conflicts in relationships are good if you can work through it. And that's why they say, for example, with marriage, that it's one of the biggest tests because, it's not all peaches and cream. There's real issues that come up that you have to work through. And guess what? After you work through those issues, you actually can become closer with the person. And, that's just part of it. That's just part of being human and being real is sometimes there's problems that come up and how will you now handle the conflict? And, not everybody is ready to hear that. People, they want always the easy way, like everything is always good. But um, I feel like conflict resolution is a big part of building relationships and maintaining them because sometimes, conflicts and high stress brings out, um, different qualities about people. And it can either hurt or it can make or break a relationship. That's what I want to say. I feel like high stress situations really can reveal people's character a lot. And not to say that, humans are complex people. It's not like who you are in one moment, it's who you are, period. But in terms of navigating friendships and relationships, you should be aware of those things because you get to have a say in what kind of energy you want in your life. And that's basically what friendships are. It's, energy that you're allowing into your life, especially when you spend a lot of time with people. So that's the first thing that I want to say is that conflict isn't necessarily something that should be avoided at all costs. You should feel comfortable enough to express yourself without feeling like fear or whatever the case may be. Like sometimes, yes, things will make people upset, will make your friend upset when you bring it up, but overall, in the grand scheme of things, if you are able to talk through it and grow through the conflict, this can really help maintain the integrity of the relationship and help it grow. And sometimes that's not what happens, and that's okay too. That's just what happens. But that's a big thing that I learned this year is that there's a way that conflict can be a good thing and confrontation can be a good thing. And avoiding it does more harm sometimes than just confronting it in the first place. So that's a big lesson that I've learned, and I hope that that's helpful. So, Another thing is a concept I want to share about like how to, especially if you're looking to create new friendships, if you've learned lessons from friendships that didn't work out and you want to be more intentional going forward about making new friends, a good practice to have is to literally envision in your mind traits that you also want your friends to have and then become the reciprocal of those things. That's basically what a love list is. So, for example, instead of just sometimes I noticed people they just want company and it doesn't really matter. They're not paying too much attention to like the traits that these people have because they just want to, sometimes just people, and they're not being too selective about who they're hanging out with just for the sake of saying that they went out or saying that they have friends or whatever. But if you want to be a little bit more intentional and make sure that the relationships that you are entertaining are adding to your life and are, helping you create the life that you really want, intentionality basically, then it's a good idea to have even a rough idea of traits that you want within a friendship. And, when you're trying to build new relationships, making sure that that person has those traits that you're looking for, and also having those traits within yourself to be a reciprocal of those things. So, this is an example. For example, you want a friend who is trusting. The reciprocal of that would be that you have to be a trustworthy person yourself. You want a friend that's very open and vulnerable. Okay, you also have to be vulnerable and open. This is how it works, right? There's no such thing as something for nothing. So, being intentional about traits that you're looking for in your friends to have when you're building new relationships, when you're looking for new friends, can set you up for success so that in the future, um, the fact that you have core values, similar beliefs, and similar things that you're looking for out of friendships will keep you together even through conflicts, even through, sometimes a friend moves and, you have to maintain a long distance friendship. There's different things that come up. That's life. But having similar values and similar core beliefs and traits um, is what keeps a friendship together. So that's a good thing to look for in the beginning. And yeah, it changes as time goes on, and you have to sometimes give yourself permission to grow. So it's okay if you're not the same person that you were before and you changed and now you outgrew people, or you're just not on the same, like it's just not adding to your life anymore. It's okay to know when to draw a line in the sand, basically. But these two things have really helped me in building new relationships and having more fulfilling connections with people, is being intentional about traits that I'm looking for in friendship. This is also something you can carry over to dating, and that's something that we actually do when we're really serious about dating. We know what we're looking for. We basically hold people up to the standard, which is basically traits that we're looking for. So I think the same thing applies to friendships, and also learning how to grow through conflict and there's leaving space to have respectful disagreements, like knowing how to have conversations and go through conflict without it getting to another level and being disrespectful, because that's a skill that's cultivated obviously through just life experience. But there's just no world where you're going to have a relationship with someone or a friendship with someone and like nothing will ever happen that will challenge it. Like eventually there will be some kind of conflict, even if it's petty, and it's important to know how to navigate those. So the first thing is to not avoid them in the first place and just, leave room to have respectful disagreements, if that makes sense. And conflict resolution is a thing and it can really help you. So I hope this video was helpful. These are two things that I consider, how to be a good friend, things you want to implement into your life if you want to be more intentional about building friendships, building relationships. If you're into topics like these, concepts like these that really improve your life and upgrade the quality, definitely check out 30 Days of Empress Energy. It's my 30-day basically mentality level up program. Everything you need in one place to level up your mentality through inner work. It's right there for you. So check out more about this offer in the description below, and definitely subscribe if you want to hear more about topics like this, which I feel can sometimes be a little bit taboo, like, talking about these kinds of things, but nonetheless, they need to be talked about. So I'm here for that. And subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Bye.